On this day in Philadelphia, it feels like they blew right past fall and have landed right in the smack dab winter months. The Phillies and the Marlins, it's a three-game series, a doubleheader today on this Saturday. Aaron Harang, Tom Kohler trying to get loose. Temperatures right now low 50s, winds about 20 miles an hour. It should dip into the 40s, but it's the Fish and the Phils to finish off the 2015 season. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. This has a winter chill to it.
Yeah, it does. I think most of the players, though, Rich, you and I included, are just happy that the rain has subsided. It rained all day yesterday and last night. That's because of the rain out, so here we are for 2 today.
Keep your fingers crossed,
yeah.
All right? The focal point for the Marlins this weekend is D. Gordon. There's a lot to play for, and, of course, we present the D-ometer just to bring you up to speed. Now, that's up to date. Bryce Harper 1 for 3 with a homer against the Mets.
You know, we're keeping track of D. Gordon's base hits. He has 198 hits, trying to get to that 200-hit level. You see the stolen bases. He's trying to catch up with Billy Hamilton. He should be able to do that. So it's something we're able to watch, and I know his teammates are all rooting for him, too.
And it's a lot of fun, and you don't get to watch once, but twice. This is a doubleheader, and it's not a day-night. It's a doubleheader that starts now. We got 2 ball games for you as D. Gordon takes a run at a batting title. The Marlins make a run at the Phillies, and the first pitch is right around the bend. Dealers and by Kubota. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. Marlins and Phillies here, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Heavy rainfall yesterday, a break in the weather today in terms of wetness. A lot of chill, a lot of winds. Jessica Blaylock is down in the middle of it. Hi, Jess.
Hey, Rich. Yeah, it's pretty cold down here, and there's a little bit of a drizzling rain that is coming in right now. But as far as the heavy rains that the hurricane brought with it, there was so much rain that they had to keep the tarp on the field for a day and a half. They actually didn't even take it off until earlier today. I had a chance to talk to the Phillies grounds crew, and they said that the water really wasn't a problem. The drainage was perfect. The biggest issue with having to deal with today is going to be that quick turnaround between Game 1 and Game 2 of this doubleheader, guys. They're only going to have about 30 minutes to get the field prepped for that second game.
Yes, you're right, Jessica. This is not one of those dual admissions, a 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock start, and there are a couple of those in baseball today, by the way. This is a straight doubleheader, a little old school doubleheader, just like Tom Kohler likes it. Miami's lineup brought to you by JM Lexus. For Game 1, D. Gordon in the leadoff spot. Christian Yelich is in center. Martin Prado's at third base. Derek Dietrich in left, and Dietrich is in the cleanup spot. Marcelo Zuna in right. Casey McGee gets the start at first. His numbers quite good against Aaron Harang. You'll see Justin Bohr in the second game. Jeff Mathis will catch Game 1. Donovan Solano also good numbers against Harang, and Tom Kohler in the 9 spots.
Well, the Marlins just saw the veteran right-hander Aaron Harang back on September 22nd. He pitched a very good ball game down in Miami. 6-2 win. The Phillies won that game 7 innings, gave up 7 hits and just 2 runs. So certainly familiar with this big right-hander. Aaron Harang has made 21 career starts against the Marlins.
And D. Gordon climbs in. Gordon sitting at 329, as we told you. Bryce Harper 1 for 3 so far with a homer. He's at 331. So 329 to 331. 3 games to play for Gordon this weekend in Philadelphia. First pitch brought to you by Pinch a Penny. And Gordon pops it foul and out of play. Tommy Hutton, as a former left-handed hitter who hit a lot in this city, what does the weather mean for D. Gordon for these 3 games?
In this city, a little different than over at the Vet, where it would get bitter cold.
Gordon hits that one to left center field, hits it pretty well. Herrera reaches and makes the catch. Odubel Herrera robs D. Gordon of extra bases, and that might have been a triple.
I think right off the bat you're seeing the effects of the wind blowing right to left. That ball carried away from Herrera.
Joining Herrera in that Phillies defense, it's brought to you by BMW.
There's Aaron Altherr, Herrera, and then Bogusevic, Brian Bogusevic, Ashy, Galvis, Sweeney, and Ruff around the infield, and Carlos Ruiz does the catch.
Here now is Christian Yelich. Neither Yelich or Gordon, the left-handed bats at the top of the lineup, have a lot of success against Aaron Harang. There you see the flags. The wind is supposed to be even worse tomorrow. Yelich fouls that one over the screen. Wind around 20 miles an hour right now, game time here. But tomorrow the wind's supposed to pick up. It's supposed to be dry tomorrow. Yelich fouls that one back. It's 1-2. Yelich 4 for 20 in his career, and certainly part of this weekend as well is putting a cap on 2015. And for Yelich, it's been quite a year. First the struggles, the lower back injury, the average under 200. But Dan Jennings and the rest of the Marlins staff very proud of Yelich for his June, July, August, and September turnaround, which has him right at 290 with a 357 on base starting play today. Bouncer up the middle, backhanded there by Sweeney. That's a base hit for Yelich, and the ball stays in play. Yelich will hold first base.
Rich, I think for any of the young Marlins, Yelich certainly falls into that category. This season has been a tremendous growing season. A lot of things to have been learned, and I think they did. They got through it. And with the speed of Christian Yelich, base hit all the way.
Martin Prado, and you've got Dietrich in the cleanup spot. Prado, a really nice surge in the second half of the season. And certainly a team leader in the clubhouse and a team leader on the field as well. The Marlins have looked to him for that, and he's certainly in July, August, and September has supplied it. You see the second half numbers.
To get back to your question, I've always felt, and I think most pitchers will say, with the exception of maybe the ball being a little slick, they're out there, they can get warm, and once they're warm, I think it's a little easier to pitch than to hit in cool weather, cold weather.
Joe West says strike 3 called, and Martin Prado is out number 2.
Well, obviously, Harang got a good grip on that curveball. It buckled Martin Prado, and it was a perfect pitch. I think the wind will have a factor, too, today, more than just being cold. Let's scout the big guy. We've done that over the years a number of times. Tall, but he has a compact delivery. We'll add and subtract off that fastball. Try to stay away from the fastball up.
Well, as you noted, it's cold, but what makes it really uncomfortable is the cold and the wind. Because it feels like it drops at another 10, 12 degrees. And the wind right now is constant and will be for the rest of the weekend.
Pretty much blowing right to left.
Dietrich getting the start in left field. Justin Bour will play in the second game, and you'd expect to see Bour again tomorrow.
Pretty good numbers for Derek Dietrich. That's why he's in that cleanup spot.
Neither Dietrich nor many other Marlins had much success in St. Pete. Marlins ran into a Rays team that played quite well in that series. Dietrich 1 for 8.
You know, there are actually some similarities between Harang and Jake Odorizzi, who the Marlins saw that last game in St. Pete. Odorizzi doesn't throw 95, but he'll get that fastball by you up in the zone about 91, 92.
Maybe the biggest difference is 60 pounds. But in terms of pitching style and stuff, I think you're onto something there. And the 261 might be modest. Dietrich pulling that one foul. The crowd here is going to be slight. Obviously, this game was not scheduled for this time, but you got some Marlin fans there rocking the red-orange coat, shirt, cap.
That's a great combo.
Dietrich putting together a good at bat. That one's going to end up foul. This was supposed to be a 7 o'clock game. Last night's rained out, so a 4 o'clock start. And the second game will be played about 25, 30 minutes after the completion of the first game.
And the Phillies have all year pretty much taken a hit in their attendance. Not too long ago, they had their lowest, smallest ever crowd here at Citizens Bank, about a little over 13,000.
Harang has it, and on to first to get the out. Aaron Harang, scoreless firsts. Tom Kohler up next. by Toyota. Let's go places. By Checkers, epic meals, epic deals. And by AutoNation, save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit us online at AutoNation.com. Oh, that's Bull's Barbecue. That's your buddy, Greg Luzinski.
We need a little delivery in between games. Let me make a call.
Why wait till then? All right, JM Lexus brings you the Phillies lineup. Freddie Galvis, switch hitter. Aaron Altair's played well against the Fish. Odubel Herrera, a nice year for a Rule 5 guy. Darren Ruff, Cody Ashe, Darnell Sweeney, Carlos Ruiz. Brian Bogasevic, a start in right, and Aaron Harang hangs out in the 9 spot. Tom Kohler turns and fires a fastball up. Freddie Galvis, Tom Kohler meeting here on Chili Day in Philly. Now the Phils are a hot team. Kohler has to deal with some guys that had a real nice series in sweeping the Mets. Phillies have actually won 5 of 6. And they need just the one win in these 3 games in this weekend series to ensure they don't lose 100 games.
Yeah, they've won, as you mentioned, 5 of 6, 4 in a row under Pete Buchanan, who will be heading up the Phillies next year as their manager.
Leadoff walk to Galvis.
Tough to defend the walk, but we're going to give you the defense brought to you by BMW. Dietrich, Yelich, Ozuna heads up for the right to left wind. Prado, Donovan Solano starting at short. D. Gordon, Casey McGee over on the right side, and Jeff Mathis behind the plate.
Now Altair. You got Galvis at first. And Altair takes up. Altair getting to the big leagues this year. Since mid-August has swung the bat better. Start number 33 in the big leagues. A breaking ball. He checked his swing. That is Stu Sherwater, the first base umpire. DJ Rayburn is at second. There's Rob Drake is at third. That's a look at Sherwater. Up working with the Joe West, who was behind home plate.
Usually in doubleheader situations, there's a 5th umpire. So more than likely Joe West will sit out the second game. Perhaps. He's the crew chief, though. So we'll see what they do.
In the air now. Remember the wind, and you can see Ozuna rushing in. I mean, he ends up only about 25-30 feet on the outfield grass and makes the catch.
Yelich and Ozuna talking things over. All right. Got to be alive for that wind. Going to be hard to hit one out to right field, and anything in the air to right field that has a little height is going to come toward you.
So Ozuna handles it, and here is Odubel Herrera. I think for the Phillies, this is a silver lining type guy for their season. Not to be confused with what Silver Linings Playbook.
Good movie.
Set here in Philly.
Yeah, Eagles fan.
But Herrera was a Rule 5 draft pick and a guy that the Phillies were going to take a chance on. They had to keep him on the roster the entire season, and sometimes that's dicey when a guy doesn't play well. But Herrera's played well. I mean, he's played like he belongs here, and so that's a nice gamble for a fee of $50,000. They were able to acquire this guy
I tell you, he's also played well against the Marlins. 16 games, he's played in every one of them. A .314 average.
Runner goes, and Herrera bangs a hit-and-run single in the left. Dietrich picks it up. Galvis safe passage to third. And the Phillies are in business.
Well, you talk about perfect execution on a hit and run. You just saw it. With Galvis on the move, Solano moving over to cover, big hole on the left side, and Herrera just slaps the ball on the ground in that hole. Just like that, first and third. See how he stayed on top of the ball. Hit and run, you want to make contact, you want to try to hit it on the ground. And the third thing, if you can find that hole, more the better, and that's exactly what he did.
So speed at the corners. And now Darren Ruff. And the big right-handed bat takes a pitch down low. Ruff has hit a couple homers at the Marlins' expense this year in the 10 games in which he's appeared in. Bouncer to short, a shot at 2. Gordon's turn is in time. Nicely done by Tom Kohler. Phillies and Marlins are underway, headed to the second, scoreless. Scoreless start. Philly fans, the ones that are here, are bundled up. Fanatic cap is a good way to go because it keeps the ears warm as well. Aaron Harag throws a fastball to Marcell Ozuna with Casey McGee and Jeff Mathis to follow.
Yeah, I'd say the best headgear on a day like today is a Fanatic cap or a Panda cap.
Well, it's a really busy day in Major League Baseball. There are 18 games scheduled, with the rain yesterday pushing 3 of those games onto today's calendar. The Marlins, one of those. We're talking about the Nationals and the Mets. They're already done. The Nationals beat the Mets 3-1. They're done in their first game. Second game is later on tonight.
You know, the good news for Nationals fans, Harper hit a home run, number 42 on the year. But for Mets fans, Noah Syndergaard, no decision. But he went 7 innings and had 10 strikeouts.
Ozuna, that's a long way into the corner on a day like this. And I dare say, if there were no wind, that ball's out of this ballpark.
Absolutely right. We talked about it with the wind blowing in from right, that it's going to take a pretty good jolt to get one out that way, and he came close.
Brian Bogusevic running it down. McGee takes out. Casey's numbers against Harang, good. So he is in there. You've got 3 games to play in roughly 24 hours. And so for a lot of the Marlins, they'll get 2 starts out of the 3 games. Count 2-1. The Yankees lost to the Orioles, first game of a doubleheader. Minnesota lost to Kansas City. Kansas City beat them 5-1, and that's not a good loss for Minnesota. The American League wild card seems to be the race to watch, that American League West and wild card in these last couple days. That one's hit well. Off the bat of McGee. Bogusevic won't get it, and it hops off the wall. McGee around first, races to second, and Casey's got himself a 1-out double. Nicely done by Casey McGee.
Yeah, we've seen 2 right-handed hitters really drive the ball well to right field. Casey hit that as well as he's hit a lot of balls lately. Good approach, solid swing. Bogusevic couldn't get to it. And Casey McGee gets himself a double. Rich, in that Baltimore game, how about the year Manny Machado is having? Hit another home run. Machado has 34 home runs on the year.
The pride of Miami. For the Yankees, they're still trying to wrap up home field in that wild card chase. That one in on the hands of Mathis. Jeff Mathis paired with Tom Kohler. It'll be JT Realmuto working with Justin Nicolino in the second game of the doubleheader.
I think Dan Jennings likes that matchup. Those two have worked together a lot.
Mathis had that really nice game against Atlanta, a double and a triple. Pitch misses in. His last 5 games, he's got 6 hits. So in September, Mathis has been swinging the bat better. McGee, the runner at second. That fastball misses away. Now it's 3-1. Dugouts will be a busy place today. Guys will move around trying to stay warm. A variety of outer gear worn, from gloves to caps to coats to sweatshirts. And a walk for Jeff Mathis. It brings up Solano. Also a reminder that select a seat for the Fish family members coming up Saturday, October 17th at Marlins Park. Place your 2016 Marlins season ticket deposit for the best priority. Get your seats on the 17th of October. It's a day of fun for the whole family. Access to the 2017 All-Star Game as well with one of those 2016 season tickets. Here is Solano.
Disregard the batting average because he's 8 for 11 against Aaron Harang. Rich, you were talking about the dugout, the bullpen here at Citizens Bank. Those guys have to try to stay warm out there.
I will say one thing about the bullpens, both the Phillies and the Marlins, they're highly populated because both teams have a lot of relievers. They're sheltered from the wind. They're down below, and the wind is kind of going over the top of them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that might not be a bad place to be.
Plus, they're close to Tony Luke's, close to Bull's Barbecue.
Chicky and Pete's. 1-2 coming. And it's out. Yeah, Solano just saw Harang. The Marlins saw Harang on the 22nd of September. Phillies beat the Marlins 6-2. Solano was 2 for 3 against Harang, and the out he made may have been the best ball he hit of the day. It was a liner to center field. And Solano gets a hit to right field. McGee to third. He'll hold there. Bogusevic was not deep. And obviously it's a shallow right and left. This is not a big ballpark at all. And so the outfielders are shallow to begin with. That means Kohler comes to the plate with the bags loaded.
And it also means Donovan Solano is now 9 for 12. Unbelievable.
Do you think someday when Aaron Harang is sitting around, when his grandkids are there for Thanksgiving, and they ask him, Grandpa, who is the guy that gave you the most trouble in the big leagues?
And he'll say Donovan Solano. Well, you got a guy out there. He's won 128 career games in Aaron Harang. Lately, you see the 6 for 48, but 5 of those 6 have come lately for Tom Kohler.
Ball and a strike. Marlins at every base. The double by McGee was with 1 out. Mathis walked. Solano single. So 1 out. Infield looks for a double play ball. And Harang's out in front 1 and 2.
It's always tough for pitchers hitting in this kind of weather because the last thing you don't want them to get jammed, get any tingling in their hands.
Harang drops the ball. Everybody is safe. McGee scores. That could have been an inning-ending double play if he gets it to Ruiz in time. Remember, you have Kohler running up the line at first. So instead of 2 outs, it's a run. And the Phillies don't get any outs.
Yeah, if worst case scenario, they get an out at the plate and maybe not a double play. I think Harang was thinking 2. And it hit off the tip of his glove. Maybe the head came up a little. So a sure 1 out, possible double play turns into an error. And the Marlins get a run, and the inning continues, and still just 1 out.
Here's D. Gordon. He lined to left center for an out, his first time up. And Harang misses outside.
Off the end of the bat. Didn't quite get that 6'7" frame all the way bent over.
So it's Mathis at third, Solano at second, Kohler's at first. And Gordon lines one into left field. That's a base hit. 1 run will score. Mathis crosses. Solano holds third. D. Gordon. Now 1 for 2. Little shake of the hands.
Yeah, he may have either gotten jammed or a little bit off the end of the bat, but up high, he stays on top of it. Hit number 199 now for D. Gordon, plus he picks up an RBI.
So he's hit it hard twice now. Actually, the first ball he hit for an out harder than that. And it's Yelich who comes up with the bags loaded. Bryce Harper was 1 for 3. D. Gordon now 1 shy of 200. Ball in the dirt. The other thing to think about for Gordon is he needs 2 stolen bases this weekend to win the National League stolen base title. He won it last year with 64 with the Dodgers. But that means he's got to get on base. He is on base, but he can't steal second because Tom Kohler is already there. Yelich at infield hit a ground ball over the middle.
No, the Marlins have already had a better approach against Harang than in Miami. In Miami, Harang went 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs on 7 hits.
Solano, Kohler, and Gordon, your base runners.
So D. Gordon came into the game hitting .329. He's 1 for 2, and he's still hitting .329.
That's what happens in the. You get to September. It takes a little bit more to move that needle. Yelich fights off the fastball. 1-2.
You talked, Rich, about the Nationals, and with us following Bryce Harper, they have a doubleheader as well. Second game, Bryce Harper will be facing Matt Harvey. It's a good matchup. Max Scherzer against Harvey in the second game of their doubleheader.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 runs across. An error by Aaron Harang, key in this inning. The Marlins have 3 hits and a walk, and the bag's loaded. That misses up. Yelich took it, and there's no place to put him. He's got a good eye, and the count's 3-2. Yelich, left center, falls for a hit. Scoring is Solano. It stays out in the outfield. A late start by Kohler, who now is arriving at third base. And it's station to station baseball. Yelich an RBI hit. Solano scores, and everybody moves up 90 feet. And Tom Kohler getting debriefed by Lenny Harris.
Well, he pretty much stayed near the bag. He goes back to the bag to tag up, and the ball drops for a base hit. D. Gordon had a good view, and he's kind of getting on Tom Kohler right now. They're having some fun because D was real close to him as he went back to tag up.
And now Lenny is trying to get an explanation. And there's Gordon. A much more accomplished base runner. Meanwhile, Yelich is 2 for 2. The Marlins have another RBI hit. There's still only 1 out. And the pitch count for Harang is skyrocketing. 33 pitches this inning already.
Let's see if we can watch D. Gordon after this pitch. We'll see a little fun he was having with Tom Kohler. Good job. You made it to third.
One step at a time. Prado called out on strikes his first at bat. And Harang misses down low. And the Phillies bullpen doesn't seem to be any urgency or anybody up yet. This is a lot of pitches. I mean, a lot of pitches. I know this is the first of a doubleheader, but you can almost expect that phone to ring any second. Because you've got a lot of mileage with Harang. This is start number 29 of the season.
Well, you also know, and he knows, it's his last start of the year. So I'm sure Pete Buchanan would like to see the veteran work through this, but if not, he'll get that bullpen busy.
Prado swings and misses at a fastball. Derek Dietrich on deck. And Harang misses down low. He runs it full. Kohler the runner at third. Great speed with Gordon at second. Ditto that with Yelich at first.
Well, the one thing Tom Kohler feels good about is a 3-run lead so far, too. He feels good over there. Doesn't have a jacket. But as you said, growing up where he did, this is a nice day.
Breaking ball, Prado stays alive.
Stony Brook probably had some early season games in March.
Oh, without question. Yeah. Maybe even late February. That pop-up, the wind pushing it. Ashe is there, and he makes the catch. And so the ninth man to come to the plate is Derek Dietrich. The bags are still loaded with 2 outs. Dietrich had a good at bat back in the first. Fouled off a lot of pitches. Ended up bouncing back to the mound on a sharp grounder.
By the way, Rich, when we landed the other night, of course, the Marlins rookies had their initiation and had their Baywatch outfits on. Stepping off the plane the other night, about 2 in the morning, about 40 degrees, those guys handled it pretty well.
Probably better than Pamela Anderson would have handled it. If you missed Marlins Live, stick around throughout the afternoon and evening. We'll have a chance to revisit. If you had to be saved by one of the Pamela Andersons on that flight, say we had a water landing and there was one Pamela Anderson you could choose, that's not easy.
I think I would have picked Derek Dietrich. He's in pretty good shape.
He looks more Hasselhoff than Pamela.
Yeah, Justin Bohr, he was fitted in an outfit nicely.
I think that Bohr was the player's choice. 2-2 to Dietrich. Fouls it back to the screen. This rookie initiation. And even Dan Jennings got in on it. He was actually dressed as David Hasselhoff, chief lifeguard.
He was the chief lifeguard, looking good. That was a great touch, I thought, by the players.
Well, another 3-2 count. Look at the pitches. 65 pitches. Bullpen is active. That is strike 3 called. At the letters, Harang gets out of it, but not before Miami sends 9 to the plate. 3 of them score. It's 3-0. Marlins coverage. Very popular in social media circles is Jessica Blaylock. Hi, Jess. How are you? Nice.
Hey, I'm good. I'm trying to stay warm down here, and so are these players. You mentioned it earlier. They've got the heavy jackets, the coats. They've also got some hand warmers for the guy. And as you can see, these massive portable heaters that are trying to generate some heat and keep these guys warm in between innings. But not everyone minds this weather. I saw Justin Bohr on the field earlier, and he said that, hey, I love this. This is my kind of weather. And guys, these temperatures are going to keep continuing to drop as the game goes on. It's about 55 degrees right now.
How's the hat holding up? It was a nice accoutrement to the pregame show on Marlins Live. There it is.
That's a nice look, Jess. I like that.
Thanks so much. Yeah, see, I've learned. I've got the heavy coat that I still haven't had to put on yet. I'm saving that for the second game. But the hat is coming up big so far for me, guys.
That looked good. You and Preston Wilson did a fine job on Marlins Live to start this doubleheader day. Cody Ashe was after a breaking ball. Tom Kohler out in front in the count, out in front on the scoreboard. Ashe, a guy that had a good time when the Marlins and the Phillies met in Miami a week and a half ago. He had his power stroke going. Ashe lost his third base job about midway through the season. Kyle Franco might see time this weekend. At least there was some writing of that in the Inquirer here in town.
Yeah, he was hit by a pitch on the wrist. Hasn't played since August 11th. But Ashe's taking advantage. Yeah, you talked about it. He went down, played about 15 or so games in AAA in the outfield, in left field. But once he's gotten back with Franco's injury, he's been at third base. 6 home runs in his career against the Marlins for Cody Ashe. 2 in that 3-game series
that we talked about. Joe West, little delayed reaction, strike 3 call. And Ashe departs. Kohler has his first strikeout to go with 1 walk. And it brings up Darnell Sweeney.
Perfect pitch. Good to see Tom Kohler, who was, you know what, it probably wasn't a bad thing that he was on the base paths most of that inning. He kept warm. He was running around and made some good pitches there to Ashe.
Darnell Sweeney takes outside. This, of course, a modern park. And that being said, that means there's a batting tunnel and cage right behind each dugout. The clubhouse, just a flight of stairs up, and you can pop in there between innings to warm up, get something to drink. There's the tunnel that leads to both the batting cage and the Marlins clubhouse. That wasn't always the case in baseball. There are, in fact, still one ballpark in particular, and that is Oakland, where the dugouts are simply that. You have to go someplace else to get to a clubhouse.
Yeah, years ago, it's not real comfortable. Not too many places to go at Wrigley Field. And one of the worst used to be Candlestick in San Francisco.
To left, and it's over the head of Dietrich and off the wall. Darnell Sweeney has his 3rd double. Any ball to left is going to carry, and that one did.
You know, Sweeney, new to the major leagues, not a lot of base hits. 7 of his 12 base hits now as a major leaguer have been extra bases. So the switch hitter got into that, sent it over the head of Derek Dietrich. Yeah, in Candlestick Park, the visiting dugout was on the third base side, but the clubhouse was all the way down the right field line. So once you got to the dugout, there was no place to go. That was it.
Well, it's a good thing that Candlestick wasn't windy or cold.
Yeah, you always kept so warm in that dugout.
That was known as the coldest place in Major League Baseball by far. And year-round. Right field, it should hang up. It does hang up. Ozuna makes the catch, sets his feet, and makes sure Sweeney stays at second. Carlos Ruiz with a fly ball out. And here comes Brian Bogusevic. Normally in this ballpark, Tommy, for a pitcher to just pound the strike zone, that could be a dangerous proposition. But on a day like this, it's cold, the hitters aren't real comfortable, big wind coming in from right center field.
I think today is a day, regardless of the ballpark, that you want to pound the strike zone if you're a pitcher. Hitters don't want to get jammed on a day like today. Broadcasters don't want to lose their notes as they sometimes fly out of the booth.
It's a good catch by you.
A gust of wind.
A fine catch. You still have the that short hop pickability. Bogusevic was a Marlin in spring training. Not this spring, but a few springs ago.
Mostly in AAA this year with the Phillies organization. Lehigh Valley.
The Iron Pigs.
Yeah. That'd be a good minor league cap. Go online.
I think that's one of the things that helped fuel all the name changes in minor league baseball. The sale of caps and memorabilia and merchandise, and being able to sell it online was a big boost and boon to all those minor league franchises.
You could have an Iron Pigs hat, a Lansing Lugnut hat.
Montgomery Biscuits is popular in the truck from the crack staff. Of course, we can sit here and name them for the next 5 minutes, or we can call Burke Badenhop and have him name all of them.
Yeah.
The baseball savant was able to name the nicknames
and the ballparks
and the affiliate, the major league affiliate, for all the minor league teams. Quite amazing. 1-2 to Bogusevic. Kohler misses up. My goodness. I just looked at this score. The Angels have come back to tie Texas 10-10 in Arlington. A 2-out rally has tied that game in the 9th inning. Angels and Texas, and that's an important one. Kohler having a hard time finishing off Bogusevic.
There have been some wild games. Houston last night beat Arizona 21-5.
Those two teams played tonight in Phoenix. There, he got him with a breaking ball. Kohler strikes out Bogusevic. 2 strikeouts for Kohler in the inning. 3-0 Miami. What's up, Bubba? This afternoon and tonight in this doubleheader in Philly, which of course is presented by the authority of the Marlins, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts, descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. Now, do we need to read that twice in a doubleheader legally?
I think legally you're obligated to. You're disseminated to. I think because it's a separate game, I think you have to.
Ozuna takes a breaking ball. Casey McGee, Jeff Mathis as well. Aaron Harang threw 48 pitches in the second inning. You can see that's pitch number 69 already. But he's trying to hold it at 3. Ozuna bounces one foul.
Well, one of the runs unearned. Of course, that was the Harang error himself.
Run scoring hits by D. Gordon, Christian Yelich. Galvis gets the out at first. This is actually a good day to be a kid at this ballpark because you can go wherever you want. It's not like you're all shoulder to shoulder. If you want to wander over to the first base side, knock yourself out. If you want to go out to Ashburn Alley, get yourself something to eat. Though I don't think the water ice stand is doing a brisk business, so to speak.
Well, the Philly fan will say they'll get their fill of Phillies today, and they'll get a little Eagles action tomorrow. I think the Eagles are on the road.
Washington.
Yeah.
The best football team in Philadelphia right now is Temple, I think.
What are they, off to a 4-0 start? First time in many, many years.
That's confirmed by a Philadelphian. Authentic. Cheesesteak eating. Fanatic loving.
Rocky watching.
Darren Ruff battling the elements, makes the catch. And there are 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. My goodness, again I say, there's still 2 outs, and the Angels have another run, and they've taken an 11-10 lead over Texas. Texas trying to wrap up the West, and the Angels
so far have 5 runs in the top of the 9th.
That is amazing.
Trout a couple of hits.
Now the Angels can't catch Texas for the division, but Houston can. Mathis, left field, that's deep, that is gone. You bet he has swung the bat better in the month of September. Second home run of the season for Mathis.
And you know what? His first as a new dad.
That is right.
Well, you talk about a no-doubter. Jeff Mathis gets a pitch. Look at this. Middle of the plate. And that's as good a swing as you're going to see. And no question, into those seats in left field.
And I hope that Mom Jenna and Olivia Sage are watching. Solano left field. That one is deep. That one is caught at the wall. Thought for a second Donovan Solano had gone back-to-back. As it is, a Jeff Mathis homer makes it 4-0. Nothing. Marlins on top. Miami Beach Bowl returns. Marlins Park on Monday, December 21st. It's the second annual Miami Beach Bowl. Top team from the American against a team from Conference USA. Go to MiamiBeachBowl.com.
You can pretty much guarantee that on December 21st in Miami, it's going to be a whole lot warmer than it is right here now.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to get that drizzle, and if it did spritz a little bit, they'd just shut the roof. Aaron Harang, you can see from that camera shot, there is moisture in the air. So there's that fun mix of cold, wind, and wet.
Always a good mix.
It is, isn't it? It's a big umbrella.
The Marlins cap.
And sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Harang swings and misses. Mathis digs it out and throws him out. Tom Kohler, of the last 4 outs he's recorded, 3 have been strikeouts.
We talked about on a cold day such as this, a pitcher who has that good curveball like Tom Kohler, sometimes it can be difficult, but he's throwing some good ones today.
There's Galvis now. Breaking ball is a strike. The American League wild card race, just as a reminder, the Angels are 1 behind Houston, and they desperately need to win that game in Texas. As we've been following, they've scored 5 runs in the top of the 9th and now have an 11-10 lead going to the bottom of the 9th. Galvis swings and misses.
Now remember, they do not have their closer, Houston Street, so Joe Smith, the Submariner's in to try to close that game.
Eric Altair is on deck. Houston plays Arizona tonight.
Each team in that game, that Angels-Texas game, each team's starter went 4 innings. Each team now has used 8 pitchers out of the bullpen.
Yikes. Dietrich got it on a hop. It's not a catch, but it's a nifty play out there. Dietrich seems to be getting more and more comfortable in left, and that's the ball that he probably has started to play better than others, and that's the one in front of him where he has to dive or slide.
Yeah, I think it's a good sign, and I think we've seen Derek Dietrich improve as he's learned to play. He was thrown out there and said, okay, this is going to be where you are, and he's done a good job, and I think we've seen him get better. It's a lot of trouble if that ball gets by him.
So Galvis is aboard for the 2nd time. Altair flying to right back in the 1st.
You know, if you're Tom Kohler, obviously you want to pick up win number 12, making his 31st start of the year. He'd like to pick up his first win against the Phillies this year. He's won 2 games against them in his career. And I'll tell you another personal thing. If you look at goals at the last few weeks of the season, Tom Kohler came into this game with an earned run average at an even 4. So I'm sure he'd like to finish below that.
Galvis runs, pitch is a strike. The throw is off the glove of Gordon. He tried to sweep the tag and got Galvis, I think, with his glove, but couldn't hold the baseball. Galvis had a bit of an awkward slide into second.
Galvis has had a pretty good percentage this year. 10 steals. He's been caught just once.
Full count to the Phillies left fielder. Didn't miss by a whole lot. Tom Kohler this season starts, wins, innings, ERA, and strikeouts. And of course, the ERA, you have to qualify with enough innings. And that certainly has been an issue for the Marlins all year long, and that is starting pitching, guys being healthy, being able to take the ball every 5 days. Kohler has been the guy.
He has, and I think he was helped a lot early in the season by a guy named Dan Herron. And I think in some ways Tom Kohler's taken a little bit of that leadership role in that starting rotation.
You can hear the wind in the crowd mics. That shot from the low first base, you can see the condensation of the moisture on the camera as well. Herrera fouls it at the plate. It's not just the players and the fans that are weathering this atmosphere here of all the different elements. It's the men and women that are working on our telecast that have to deal with it as well. I know. We feel your pain. We are undercover, but we are exposed to the wind, which happily blows right into the booth. And you get an occasional gust that'll blow in some of that rain as well.
You kind of wonder where that breeze is blowing into the booth on one of those humid July days here in South Philly.
Yeah, it's like trying to get back all the naps you were supposed to take when you were 10. And you never did. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Herrera strikes out.
Good pitch.
Mathis will just pick it up. Well, Kohler's been able to do that in this game when he's needed a strikeout and he needed one to end the second.
He's been able to break off that good curveball. He's also, when he's needed to make a good pitch, remember to Darren Ruff with a couple of men on, first and third. In the first inning, he made a good pitch. He got Ruff to hit into a 6-4-3 double play.
Ruff takes out.
I'm trying to think of some games early in the year, month of April, but I would say this doubleheader here will be played in as adverse weather that the Marlins have seen all year. Obviously, at home they don't see it.
When I went to the clubhouse to get an extra pair of socks, John Silverman, the critically acclaimed and highly popular equipment manager for the Marlins, confirmed that. He said that Marlins had been quite fortunate all year with the weather.
Well, and a tip of the cap to John Silverman for packing for this trip. Remember, this trip started in St. Pete, playing the Tampa Bay Rays. So you had to look ahead, you had to plan ahead for this.
Kohler does not get the 2-1 breaking ball from Joe West. And it was a pretty good pitch. Phillies at first and second. There's 2 outs. And he lost him. So the bags are loaded now. And it brings up Cody Asche, and as we have documented already, Ashe has hurt the Marlins this year. He hurt the Marlins last year.
As Tom Kohler looks to 2016, this is the area he needs to make improvement. Cut down the walks. Last start, a win against Atlanta, 6 2/3 innings, very good, with 5 walks in that game. And I think if he is able to do that, we'll see him go deeper in the games as well.
Ashe takes a strike. Looks like the Angels beat the Rangers 11-10. Joe Smith got that save. So the pressure is on Houston tonight in Arizona as they try to hang on to that last wild card spot in the American League. Minnesota lost today. I believe that eliminates the Twins. Though it does not diminish the year that Paul Molitor had in managing that ball club. His hometown team.
Yeah, they came into play 83 and 77.
Bags loaded. One thing you don't see that you usually see, especially in this ballpark, because it's a popular place to be as a player, aren't a lot of guys up on the rail, are there? You know, you look at the rails of each dugout, you normally have 8 to 10 guys up on that rail.
They're back there near those heaters.
Ashe grimacing, flexing that right hand. And this is the type of, this is the day where you don't want to take one off the end of the bat like that. Oh, he put it off his foot.
Or off your toe.
Yeah, that too.
All of a sudden, 62 pitches for Tom Kohler to yet get through the third.
Right center field, and that's going to clear the bases. Into the alley it goes, 3 runs across. Ashe on his way to third. And the Phils have a big hit and draw within 1.
I tell you what, there's just something about Cody Ashe and the Miami Marlins. We talked about 6 home runs in his career against the Marlins, most against any team. And you seem to put him in a situation where he can drive in runs, and he does it against the Marlins. Where Tom Kohler was kind of resorted to throwing the fastball in that situation, Ashe was certainly ready for it.
He did not go after the breaking balls. He got himself a fastball, and he drilled it. That's a 3-run triple, and now Kohler is pitching to keep the lead. Darnell Sweeney fouls it out of play.
In this inning, 2 of the walks scored.
2 walks and 2 hits in this inning. In the hole, Solano. That's a nice play to get the out and keep the run from scoring. But the Phillies get 3, all on Cody Ashe's triple. (1951). The shot heard round the world. Russ Hodges, longtime voice of the New York Giants.
Bobby Thompson gets Ralph Branca.
Cody Ashe, the shot hit into the wind. Tom Kohler's up. Kohler taps a breaking ball to the left side. Ashe sweeps it up and gets the out over at first. Here comes D. Gordon. All right, folks. I know there's other things to watch today, but if you're hanging in there with us, it's a full day of baseball. And the D. Gordon story is a really good one to follow. Gordon has a chance to just set a lot of history. But he's got work to do. He's 1 for 2 in this one. You saw the diometer there, which measures where Gordon is in the batting race and in stolen bases and in total number of hits. He's a hit shy of 200. He leads the majors in hits, second in the National League in hitting. Sends that one out to left field. Altair makes the catch. Bryce Harper went 1 for 3 with a home run for the Nationals in their win in Game 1 over the Mets. They beat the Mets 3-1. The Mets are having a hard time securing home field advantage in that division series, aren't they? They were swept by these Phillies, and now they lose to the Nationals in that game in New York.
Yeah, Mets have lost 4 in a row, remain at 89 wins, 89 and 71. The Dodgers are 90 and 70 going into play today. Dodgers are at home tonight against San Diego. And that'll be an interesting matchup. Zach Greinke. How about Christian Yelich with his 3rd hit?
Bangs that one into right center, not stopping, headed for second. Yelich with a slide, safe. just beat it. The throw to the outside of the bag, and that allowed Yelich to get to the inside and get the double.
Yeah, Yelich picks up double number 29, all on his own and his legs. Saw this coming out of the box. He was going to take that chance with 2 out. Not a bad chance to take. Get yourself in scoring position. Great hitting, better base running.
He might have had a double in the second inning, but remember that was the ball that was in left center, and Tom Kohler went to tag it at second. Took a while to get to third. So Yelich in scoring position. Here now is Prado, who's 0 for 2.
So Christian Yelich, it's a long shot.
I know where you're going.
But with his 3 for 3 today so far, has gotten his average to 295.
Prado hits it hard. Galvis in the hole on his knees.
Wow.
That is a heck of a play by Freddie Galvis. And the Marlins come up empty in the 4th.
To 3. Well, the Phillies in this series, not only are they looking to win games, but they're also looking to keep a streak alive. The Phillies have not lost 100 games since 1961, and if you take a look at the numbers, that is good for 53 consecutive years. But Phillies also hoping to only get 1 win in this series. That's all they need to avoid 100 losses, guys. Cody Ashley doing whatever he can to help the cause with that bases-clearing triple in the bottom of the 3rd.
That's amazing. Look at that list. Cardinals, Dodgers, Yankees, even the Angels. So the Angels have never had a 100-loss season. If that graphic, did that go back to 1960? That's amazing.
Even their expansion year.
Did they?
Even the Albie Pearson years.
They played their first year at Wrigley Field in Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
Old Coast League ballpark that was called Wrigley Field.
Then they moved into Dodger Stadium.
Casey McGee over at first on the throw from Prado. Tom Kohler. It's Carlos Ruiz for the first out. Here in the 4th. There's your Phillies box score. The big hit is Ashley's triple. That chased home 3 runs and made this game a 1-run game. Brian Bogusevic to left. Ball's carrying well there. Dietrich back, and it's gone. And this game is tied. Second homer of the season for Bogusevic.
Yeah, we talked about Bogusevic most of the season, almost 120 games in AAA. Hit 12 home runs for Lehigh Valley and got one up into that jet stream going right field to left field. The ball just continued to carry.
And so here is Aaron Harang. Remember Harang in the second inning threw 48 pitches. Bullpen scrambled. Didn't look like he'd be around much longer. Marlins were on the brink of busting it wide open. Here's Harang in a 4-4 game hitting in the bottom of the fourth.
You know, he's been around long enough, Aaron Harang, that he's probably been in this situation before. And we talked about he had a couple of years with Cincinnati. It was a 16-game winner.
He's only thrown 87 pitches in 4 innings. But look at Kohler. He's not that far behind. Kohler on pitch number 74 strikes out Harang. And there are 2 outs here in the fourth. Freddie Galvis, tough out today. He's walked and singled, has a stolen base, and has scored a run. Marlins Live pregame for tomorrow is at 2:30. It's a 3 o'clock start Eastern time for Marlins and Phils to finish off the 2015 season. Pitch is out. Now, our order of show, so to speak, for this doubleheader. After game 1, we'll head back to some baseball programming, some entertaining stuff before the start of game 2, which is about a half hour after the end of game 1. And we'll have a full post game wrapping up both games and the day in baseball after game 2.
We'll update the diameter. Hopefully with good news.
That's because Bryce Harper and the Nationals playing a second game like the Marlins tonight.
I think theirs is a doubleheader of the split doubleheader variety.
It is. Everybody out of the ballpark. Out of the, you kids out. Once they clear the park, they generally open it up and say, come on back. This game is all tied up thanks to Brian Bogusevic. For the 5th, it's 4-4. Marlins baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Checkers, Epic Meal, Epic Deals. Everybody is bundled up. Try to stay out of the wind, try to stay out of the rain. 4-4 ball game. Derek Dietrich for Miami. And to the bat, Aaron Harang captures it and gets the out. And Aaron Harang looks like a much different pitcher than he was in that second, even in the third when Jeff Mathis homered. Here comes Ozuna, and then Casey McGee.
I think it's been a nice second half or second return for Marcell Ozuna. I mean, the ball's been jumping off his bat. A lot of doubles.
Harang misses away. Ozuna on a run right now. He's 0 for 2 in this one. He's reached base safely in 10 games. And he's aboard here in what probably will be a hit, as that rising line drive just clipped the glove of Sweeney. So 11 straight games Ozuna has reached, and his average right around 368.
Yeah, that, I mean, it's a catchable ball, but as hard as it was hit, should be a base hit all the way, and it is.
So that's a nice run for Ozuna. Now McGee, who doubled over Bogusevic's head in right field.
And you know, Ozuna right now, since he's come back, 40, 50 games, he's sitting right around 275. And you look at Marcell Ozuna and what you project him to do during the course of a year, that's about 275, 285 average. We know he can hit over 20 home runs. And you'd like to see over 80 RBIs. He can do that. He did that last year.
I think for both Ozuna and for Christian Yelich, you wanted to see what they would do this year, and would they be able to duplicate or pick up where they left off last year. Now, for Yelich, that lower back injury really curtailed the first month and a half, 2 months of his season. But you take the snapshot of 4 months after that, and he looks a lot like he did last year. Ozuna, now it's come later for Ozuna than Yelich, but you are starting to see what Ozuna did last year. You're starting to see it emerge. McGee's bouncer, Ashy to his left, out there, and that's it. Sweeney, I don't know if he was going to get McGee, but he couldn't get out of his glove anyways. Our Toyota trend. Double headers. Most opponent, division rivals, not a surprise, but the Rockies, and I think a lot of that has to do with getting snowed out.
There's some bad weather in Denver.
Getting rained out.
Remember some of those.
Yes.
You know, I'm just thinking, Rich, with what you were talking about with Yelich and Ozuna, just sit back, have happy thoughts. Think of those two guys in the outfield with a healthy Giancarlo Stanton.
That is a happy thought. You know, one of the disappointments in September has not been being able to watch the full month of Adeiny Echeverria with the hamstring injury. That's kept him out essentially the whole month.
Even Dan Jennings was saying the other day he hopes that it doesn't hurt his Gold Glove chances.
The hope is that the Gold Glove voting, I believe, was done after game 135. Donovan Solano on deck. Mathis, remember, he homered to left. Jeff Mathis has walked and homered. He scored twice. He pulls that one foul. So the Twins have been eliminated. The Royals beat them. The Angels scored 5 in the 9th to stun Texas. The Angels, if the Astros lose tonight, will be tied with the Astros for that wild card spot. Runner on the way. Tapper out to short. Galvis's throw is in time, and the Marlins are done in the 5th. Halfway through, first of 2 in this doubleheader in Philly. That's 4-4. All off-season breaking news and information with the Marlins on social media. Go to marlins.com/connect and stay connected with the Marlins. That looks a heck of a lot warmer.
Doesn't that look nice?
It does. That does. Eastern Seaboard, lots of rain in lots of places. Though the rain has subsided here in Philly, it was nasty yesterday, all day, all night. Right now, still some drizzle, and that drizzle is being whipped around by winds in the 20 to 22 mile an hour range.
Well, we just had enough time to dart in and out of raindrops as we Ubered over to our favorite Italian restaurant last night.
Yeah, that's a real hardship for us. Tom Kohler misses away a breaking ball. Eric Altair, Odubel Herrera, Darren Ruff. Miami had a 4-0 lead and was really rolling. Aaron Harang was on the ropes. And then Tom Kohler got a little wild. He walked a couple in the 3rd and gave up a 3-run triple to Cody Ashe.
Aaron Altair, the guy the other day that had a couple of home runs, one of those an inside the park grand slam.
Two and two. Phillies bullpen, Ken Roberts, a lefty, is loosening up. That spike curveball that Kohler throws, good sharp breaker. 2 and 2. Second game tonight, half an hour after this one. Alec Asher and Justin Nicolino, two 23-year-olds from the state of Florida.
You know, another doubleheader that I'm just thinking about, that it was a little chilly. was that doubleheader we had 2013 in Minneapolis.
Yeah, that was chilly. That hops up, and Solano's got no chance. I think for Donovan Solano, once he decided to backhand the ball, that's trouble because Altair can run.
And in order to make that play for Donovan Solano, he's got to backhand, come up, and fire. And once it caught the heel of his glove, no chance to get Altair. So an error charged to Donovan Solano.
And the leadoff runner aboard for the Phils.
That was a Ricky Nolasco, Jose
Fernandez start.
Doubleheader.
The Marlins, speaking of snow, were actually snowed out the day before. That's what forced the doubleheader.
I think that also allowed us to have a nice Italian meal in Minneapolis that night. You always have to find the good in a snow out that creates a doubleheader.
Hey, that one kicks by McGee, rolls down the right field corner, and Altair's on his way to third. And an errant pickoff throw costs Miami 2 bases and puts the Phillies in a great spot to take the lead.
Let's throw behind the runner. McGee didn't have a whole lot of chance to make that play. And there's another area that Tom Kohler's going to work on. I'm sure he will in spring training. He's made 5 errors this year. Way too many for a pitcher. And this one a big one because it allowed Altair to get all the way to third base. Infield will come in.
In the course of a game, you prepare different notes or find different stats that you want to use. One of those I was prepared to use and feature was the Marlins defensive numbers from this year. And although they've made a couple errors here this inning, the improvement defensively has been very, very noticeable, very, very welcome, and impressive.
Well, the Marlins this year have committed 75 errors. That's second in the National League. To put that in a little perspective, the Phillies have committed 40 more errors.
So it still works.
Than the Marlins. So yeah, that still is a good note.
Infield has crept in. Herrera to center, and Yelich can't get it. Ozuna backing him up, picks it up. It'll be a base hit. Altair scores, and the Phillies have a 5-4 lead. Odubel Herrera is 2 for 3.
Well, the Phillies are capitalizing. The 2 walks in the third inning came around to score. The error here in this inning, a couple of errors, have allowed the Phillies to take the lead. Also not easy to play defense on a chilly night. Good attempt by Yelich, just out of his reach. These are the games that you certainly want a pitcher, and Kohler doing a pretty good job.
Runner on the move, and the throw is not in time. Gordon with a quick tag. Herrera's got a stolen base.
But these are the games you like your pitchers to work quickly, especially if you're in the outfield. A couple of runners have gotten decent jumps. Galva's back in the third inning.
Marlins are looking at
Let's
this.
see, did he get to the bag? Ooh, that's close. Well, he might have tagged him on the back before the hand got to the bag. Pretty close.
Now, it has to be definitive. And from that, can you tell if he got him in the back? I don't think he tagged him.
Yeah, you didn't see his shirt kind of move. Didn't see that.
That is a great look, that super slow-mo isolated right on the bag. Count is 2-1. Dodgers and Padres tonight. As we told you, the Mets lost in their first game of a doubleheader, 3-1. Mets are at 89 and 71. The Dodgers 90 and 70. So the Dodgers, if they keep winning, now have that lead for home field advantage in the first round in the division series.
For the Dodgers in that game tonight, that's a Zach Greinke start. Greinke 18 and 3 and a 168 earned run average. But is it Cy Young worthy?
Geico presents a Marlins moment. 1997 on this date. In the division series, Marlins beat the Giants 6-2. Devon White, grand slam, clinched the series at Candlestick.
Devon White. Well, and here's that guy Ashe again. Yeah, I asked the question about Greinke. Is it Cy Young worthy? Lazo getting ready because Jake Arrieta has been just as dominating.
And even though the Pirates are playing this weekend, they're probably thinking about Arrieta next Wednesday in that wild card game. Dietrich races on to make the catch. Ashe is retired.
Jake Arrieta, Rich, is 22 and 6, has a 177 earned run average. His last 20 starts, he's got, this is ridiculous, he's gone 16 and 1 with an 0.86 ERA. First player to win 22 or more games with a sub-2 ERA since Doc Gooden back in 1985.
Of course, the Cardinals have clinched the Central. The Pirates have a 2-game lead for home field over the Cubs in the wild card, and so those two teams will play. I believe it's next Wednesday, and it's probably going to be, well, it will be Arrieta and Garrett Cole, I guess, is
That'd be a good matchup.
That's appointment television.
Saw where Adam Wainwright the other night pitched a scoreless inning out of the bullpen.
Yeah, amazing recovery from the ruptured Achilles. And remember 2006 when the Cardinals stormed the postseason and won the World Championship? Wainwright was their closer out of necessity. Was it an injury to Jason Isringhausen? Carlos Beltran got one of those Wainwright curveballs.
Called strike 3.
That last out in Game
so
7.
You think about it, it gives Mike Matheny and the Cardinals an interesting touch for postseason to have that arm in the bullpen, which I assume he will be for postseason.
Darnell Sweeney takes in. Sweeney in the ball game is doubled, bounced out. Mathis has to wrestle that one. Two and two. That one pulled foul. Darnell Sweeney, a Miami guy. He was born in Hollywood, lives in Miramar. University of Central Florida. A Dodger. Out there, Solano's turn, safe there. Kohler got over to cover. Miami gets just the out at second. Herrera lives at third. Sweeney at first. Fish Family, the exclusive loyalty program of Marlin fans. Log in, go to marlins.com/fishfamily. And your bonus code is Philadelphia. Carlos Ruiz now. Never gets old. The cheesesteaks, Tony Luke's, one of the many. It's Giancarlo Stanton's favorite cheesesteak. So much so that he homered into Tony Luke's a few years ago.
Might be it's going to be a tough call between games, Tony Luke's or Bull's Barbecue.
I will settle for a warm press box because the broadcast booth is exposed. Do they have the windows open over there?
I don't think so. The press, the print media, as they like to be called, I think they're, at least before the game when I was over there, the windows were closed.
That's weak. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, they're not battling the elements as they write their stories.
Ball in the dirt. Sweeney got a good read on it, and he ends up at second base. Yeah, I'm looking out there right now.
Yeah, see, there's
a shot.
That's how comfy it is.
Now, if you go right of that, that's us.
We're looking at the guys over there that are.
See, do you see the windows open? And we're at a nice height to get the wind right in our face. So our best friend today is named Patagonia.
So let's see, Clark Spencer and Joe Fasaro. The
open window. See, we have an open window policy.
Yes, we do. Our window is always open.
There's a window. How about Dave Van Horn and Glenn Geffner? Window open, window closed. What do you think?
Old school guys, I'm sure the window's open.
We could play this game with all the broadcasters.
I'm saying
see or no.
I'm saying old school guys, their window's open.
One, two. Here's a look. Oh, old school.
Old school, windows open.
Old school, windows open.
All right.
And Geff is happy because Northwestern won today.
Elated. He was able to watch most of that game.
Yes. It's the year of the Wildcat for Glenn Geffner. How about Yiki and Favo? See or no?
Old school, window open.
Ruiz up the middle. Gordon has it. On to first in time to get the outs. In Philly, 5-4, heading to the 6th. See? in Philly. 5-4 Philadelphia.
Did you think, Rich Waltz, that we'd be in the top of the 6th inning and Aaron Harang would be out there with a 1-run lead?
No chance. Not after 48 pitches in the 2nd inning. And not with the Marlins up 4-0 and him teetering on an early exit. And yet here he is trying to get through the 6th. Phillies bullpen has been active a couple times. And Harang gets a strike on Solano. Donovan Solano is 1 for 2. Sorry.
That's all right. Marlins have a pinch hitter, Tomas Telis, in the on-deck circle.
Solano, as we've documented, has the incredible numbers against Harang, and that's continued a 1 for 2 day. And guess what? Over the middle. Oh, Galvis.
Wow.
Whoa. Freddie Galvis. Spinorama right behind the bag. And he gets Solano. He's made 2 really nice plays today.
I don't know, Rich, if he's made Philly fans forget about Jimmy Rollins yet. But he's had a solid year, and boy, shows tremendous amount of range here. Total spin move, picks up the target, and makes a good throw. That's a tremendous play.
That is really,
wow,
really hard to do. And he did it nicely. So Telis hits in Kohler's spot. Harang misses away. Yeah, the Marlins had that 4-0 lead. They built it with a 3-run second, featuring a Casey McGee double, Donovan Solano single, and then RBI hits from D. Gordon and Christian Yelich. Then Jeff Mathis hit his 2nd homer of the season to left, and that's when you thought that was the last punch that Harang was going to take before someone would come get him. But he hung in there, Harang did. And 3 innings later, it's 5-4. Both bullpens active right now. Telis, the 3-1. Shoots it to left. Altair pushed towards the corner by the wind, makes the catch. Well, it looks like that is the end of the road. With D. Gordon coming up, the Phillies are going to go get the lefty. Ken Roberts is coming out of the bullpen. And Aaron Harang exits to West Kendall Toyota, call to the bullpen. continues to be your home for postseason action. The American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment. It all begins October 8th on FS1 and streams live on Fox Sports Go. Of course, a lot to be decided in the American League Wild Card and West. That incredible run and win by the Angels today. This is Ken Roberts. Roberts comes in. The Phillies have made.
That's an interesting move. It'd be something that you'd like to talk to Pete McCannon about. Chase Darno comes in the double switch. You would have expected him to go to second base, but Freddie Galvis moves over to second base, having just made a spectacular play at short.
And he made another spectacular play earlier in the season. D. Gordon, meanwhile, rips one into right field. Number 200.
Hit number 200. They bring in a lefty to face D. Gordon, who's hit over 300 against lefties all year. Get the ball. There it is. 200 hits.
All right, there's one milestone that he's reached. The other, of course, is he's one shy of the National League lead in stolen bases. Billy Hamilton has that. Hamilton has been out for the last 3 weeks, and so Gordon, with these 2 games after this, if he gets 2 stolen bases, he wins his second consecutive stolen base crown.
Boy, that's a great list, the 200 hit list for Marlins. You saw Juan Pierre twice, Hanley Ramirez.
Oh, he was leaning, and Roberts got to first, but he got there late. Gordon started, stopped, and then went back.
Yeah, I think Roberts may have picked off Ruff. See, Ruff comes off the bag. If he stays on the bag to receive the throw, it could be close. And I think we said it the other day, Rich. One of the guys I'm sure very proud of D. Gordon getting those 200 hits, Juan Pierre.
56 stolen bases. Let's see if he runs. He's running. Pitch to the plate. Ruiz's throw. He's in there. And D. Gordon has tied Billy Hamilton for the National League lead. He's got a piece of the title. He needs one more bag to have it all to himself.
Great job, too, by Yelich. He takes the pitch all the way to allow D. Gordon to get that bag. Good job all around.
Yelich takes in with the base hit. Gordon's average now at 330. And as we told you earlier in the day, the Nationals and the Mets played. Bryce Harper was 1 for 3 with a homer. He's at 331. So it tightens just a bit. Yelich spins out of the way.
There are a couple of guys with a shot at 200 hits in the American League. Xander Bogaerts, Jose Altuve, 195 coming into play today.
Gordon is running for third. There's the throw. He's got it. Into third and into score is D. Gordon. A stolen base and a throwing error. 58 bags for Gordon. And this game is tied. And D. Gordon is going to win his second consecutive stolen base crown.
Well, he'll be happy about that and proud of that, because not only did he take the lead with that steal, he forced the throwing error by Ruiz and was able to tie the game coming into score.
Yelich again had to take another pitch for him.
And I know D. Gordon appreciates that. He sees Christian Yelich right there. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Because Yelich has had a couple of good pitches to hit.
So Gordon has the stolen base title. And now he can concentrate on catching Harper.
Yeah, pays off too for Christian Yelich.
He cracks one into left. Christian Yelich is 4 for 4 in this ball game, and we talked about it early in the month that, you know what, he might get to that last weekend with a shot at 300, and he's getting closer.
And remember, he took 2 pitches to allow D. Gordon to steal. 2 pretty good pitches to hit. Gets another one, gets his 4th base hit. The lefty came in to face the 2 lefties, and they each got hits. Another pitching change.
Yelich at 296. 5-5 game on a chilly afternoon in Philly. And that's not easy with lots of wind, a chill, a sprinkle or 2 of rain here in Philly. The Marlins have tied this game, and a couple of things that you really have to like have happened here in the last 10 minutes. D. Gordon, another hit. He's within 1 point of Bryce Harper as far as batting average goes. 2 stolen bases. He blows right by Billy Hamilton. He's got 58 now. Hugs all around in the dugout for Gordon. And Christian Yelich is 4 for 4. He's at 296. Here's Prado.
And we saw some great teammate interaction between D. Gordon and Christian Yelich, too.
You can hear the wind in the microphones. It looks like, just looking at the flags, that it's picked up. It was around 20 miles an hour to start. And it's supposed to be a little higher intensity tomorrow with the possibility of gusts up to 40 miles an hour.
I think, too, Rich, with the rain kind of clearing out, it's brought in cooler temperatures.
Oh, really? Hadn't noticed. Oh, 1 pitch to Prado. And it's down low. Phillies going with Hector Neris. Right off the end of the bat, Bogusevic charges in, and he makes the catch. But the speed of D. Gordon turns into a run. And the Marlins and the Phillies are knotted at 5. That was number 200. 2 stolen bases. Tom Kohler with a hug. We talked about the interaction. Lenny Harris with a high five.
This is amazing when you start putting this in perspective. Think about this. To lead the major leagues, to lead the league in hits and stolen bases. The last time a National League hitter did that was Honus Wagner in 1908. Ichiro did it in 01. That's the last time it was accomplished. Ty Cobb, 4 times. Stuffy, Sternweiss. You remember him.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, think about the historic meaning of what D. Gordon has accomplished this year and getting it today. Second in the league in hits is A.J. Pollock. He's not going to catch him. He has 188 coming into play tonight.
Ryan Bogusevic takes a breaking ball. Rodell Lazo for Miami in a 5-5 ball game. Bogusevic homered against Kohler. And so both starters out of the game at this point. And both bullpens will decide it in a 5-5 score. Kohler, 5 innings. The 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. And Bogusevic strikes out.
I'll tell you what, Rich, Rodell Lazo is going to be an interesting look in spring training. And he will get that look. Ryan Ellington starts to get loose. He has shown composure out there. Not too much phases him. And he went right after that left-handed bat of Bogusevic and had no problem.
Here's d'Arnaud. And d'Arnaud takes a fastball up. d'Arnaud, Southern California guy. His brother, the catcher for the Mets. Chase is older. He's 28. And he smokes that ball in the gap, right center field. And that's going to the corner to the wall. And d'Arnaud, racing around second, on his way to third, has got himself a triple. And just like that, a one-out triple has the Phillies in a spot where they could take the lead.
Generally, this ballpark isn't a park conducive to a lot of triples, but you find that area, and we've seen a couple of triples by the Phillies in this one. Ashe and now d'Arnaud. And you find that area right out there by that 398 sign. That's the furthest away you're going to get. And d'Arnaud gets himself his first triple this year.
Infield in. Galvis to left. Dietrich makes the catch. d'Arnaud should have plenty of time to score, and he does. And the Phillies take the lead right back.
Pretty good day for Freddie Galvis. Stolen base, run scored, a walk, single, sac fly, some terrific defensive plays. Done a little bit of everything today.
Altair now. He has scored a couple runs. Phillies have had some big hits. That 3-run triple by Ashe, the home run by Bogusevic. Now another triple by d'Arnaud sets up the rally here. Down the line, Ozuna. and it ends up in foul territory. Remember, the Marlins have another game tonight. This is a doubleheader, first of. We'll have the second game for you here on Fox Sports Florida. At the same time, we'll be keeping close eye on the Nationals and the Mets. Full count. There you go, right after game one, a half an hour between games 1 and 2. Solano to first in time, and Altair is out, but the Phils reclaim the lead, 6-5.
To 5. Well, this is the final series of the year, so that means one thing. It is time for rookie initiation. And the theme this year, that would be Baywatch. After the last game in Tampa on Thursday, all of the first-year players had red Speedos and wigs waiting for them. Take a look at that. They also had the red life-saving buoys. I had a chance to talk to JT Realmuto. He said, hey, everyone goes through it, but it actually ended up being a lot of fun. As for who wore it best, guys, that would be Justin Bohr.
Yeah, Baywatch, and appropriate since we were in St. Pete, though not so
appropriate upon landing.
No, in chilly Philadelphia. Two to Derek Dietrich.
The funniest part, I think, about the initiation, the rookies dressing up in whatever they're dressed up as, is upon our entrance to the hotel as well.
Dietrich swings and misses. Kyle Barraclough's parents were awaiting the arrival of their major league son. Instead, they found a Pamela Anderson lookalike, or wannabe, maybe a better way to put it.
I think Mike Dunn said, "Get over there for a picture." He posed with his parents.
Now Ozuna's 1 for 3. Hector Neris, fastball that misses away. if you're just joining us. This is the first of two. Doubleheader here in Philly. Ashe, long throw, got him. And a lot has happened here in this first ball game. Phillies do have a one-run lead. Aaron Harang and Tom Kohler were the starters. They're no longer around. For the Phillies, their big hits, Cody Ashe, a three-run double, homer by Brian Bogus, 7. For the Marlins, well, there's a lot of storylines here. D. Gordon, 2 hits. He's at 200. He's also swiped 2 bags. So he has essentially clinched the National League stolen base crown as well as the National League hits crown. You don't expect
AJ
Pollock to get 13 hits this weekend.
No, you don't think so.
And Christian Yelich has gone 4 for 4. He's at 296. He's creeping up on 300.
And Justin Bour, by the way, pinch hitting for Casey McGee, and on this chilly day, still no batting gloves. It's the way he feels comfortable.
Well, as Jessica said on Marlins Live, some of the Marlin players talking about weather, Bour said, "This is my kind of stuff." Raised in suburban Washington, D.C., just over the border in Virginia. George Mason products.
You saw those pinch hitting numbers. You talked about it the other day, and it really is what got things started, I think, for Justin Bour. A few of those pinch hits were base hits into left field, and he showed that he could hit coming off the bench, which he really struggled in his brief time last year.
Now, and at this point, there are probably a lot of minor league players watching this game, whether they're Marlin minor league players or not. Bour probably doesn't stick in the big leagues and get a chance to play every day if he doesn't get those pinch hits. Fastball, swing and a miss. No pinch hit here. Just a country hardball fastball right by him. Now, you have to be pretty hardy to hang in for a doubleheader on a day like this in Philly. Season ticket deposits for 2016. You can start saving by putting a deposit down now, and it guarantees you access to All-Star Week activities at Marlins Park in 2017. Marlins.com for more. Justin Bour stays in the ballgame. He's at first. Odubel Herrera's at the plate. Mardell Lazo misses up with a fastball. Herrera active. He's 2 for 3. Knocked in a run with a single in the 5th.
Boy, and again, just getting his hits against the Marlins. We brought it up the beginning of the game. In his 16 games this year against Miami, a .314 average. So that's gone up a little bit today.
And when the season's said and done, the 2015 of Odubel Herrera will be a very successful one. Anytime a Rule 5 draft pick is able to stay in the league a whole year, that's a win.
And we saw it firsthand with Dan Uggla.
Right, and you've also seen guys that haven't quite made it, because if you take him off your 25-man roster and try to send him to the minors, the club that lost him has a chance to buy him back for half the price, which is $25,000.
A lot of times you'll see teams toward the end of spring training, if they have a Rule 5 guy that they feel might not make the club, they'll try to make a deal back with that other team, maybe to keep that player. But you're right about the success.
And Herrera sends one screaming up the alley into left center, off the wall. His 29th double of the season. So not only is it a success, Tommy, to stay in the league the whole year as a Rule 5 pick, but when you do something special and have a really nice year like this, that is a big win for the Phillies front office. And Herrera with 3 hits in this one, his 29th double of the season.
And every once in a while, you'll see he just has solid swings all the time. You'll see a Rule 5 pitcher come up. And maybe he'll sit around out of the bullpen, not work too much, and things like that. But now we're going to have a pitching change, and we can't talk about Rule 5 anymore.
No, we can't, because we have to say, contractually, it's a West Kendall Toyota call to the pen.
Well, I mean, it's a huge factor. Something that I think our starters are going to take us where we need to go. But we're prepared if they can't. So I'm getting mentally prepared for both games. Trying to really be efficient out there is the main thing. If I pitch out there the first game, or any of the guys pitch the first game, is try to be as efficient as possible so that you can come in next game, maybe get an out or two. So I think it's a huge thing, and hopefully, I think we got it under control. So,
what's the biggest challenge of playing a doubleheader?
Missing the University of Alabama football game for me. But outside of that, it's just to make sure you're covered in the bullpen. I mean, if you're going to have a doubleheader, September's good because you've got extra arms out there, and you want to make sure you're covered that way. And we tried to match up as good as we could, utilize different guys in game 1 and game 2. So we'll see how it goes, and it's the first time we've done it this year. So you know what? Let's play 2.
Dan Jennings can be at ease now. His Crimson Tide right now is rolling Georgia on a rainy night in Athens, Georgia. So, though he's missing the game, he'll like the result. Brian Ellington, a breaking ball, pounded to third. 2 hops there. Prado across the diamond. Herrera's going to third, and he gets there with a head first slide. Good hustle by Odubel Herrera, and important for him to get to third because he's there with 1 out on the bouncer by Ruff, and that brings up Cody Ashe.
Yeah, Herrera with some heads up. See, he takes a peek. As soon as he sees Martin Prado unload the throw, he takes off. So good instincts on the part of Odubel Herrera.
Ashe now. Infield in. Ashe's triple to right center brought the Phillies back into the ballgame. Miami had a 4-0 lead. That was in the third. That was against Tom Kohler. Swing and a miss. Ellington is an intriguing arm. And he's had his moments out of Miami's bullpen.
Saw those numbers on Ashe, a little over Major League average in these situations.
Wow. Why was that not strike 3? You saw Ashe headed towards the dugout.
He was.
Ellington stopped. Joe West is the home plate umpire.
That's right down the middle.
Oh, my gosh.
That is right down the middle.
Ashe's trying to keep a straight face at that point. The count's 1 and 2.
That was a good move by D. Gordon, too, to just talk to Ellington, say, hey, can't let that bother you.
As miserable a day as it is for players, for fans, for umpires, there's no going in every 10 minutes to warm up, get something warm in your system, stand by those heaters in the dugouts. I'm not excusing the missed call, it's just an observation. There's a strikeout, and that's what's intriguing about Ellington. 98 with a little giddy up and some movement on it.
And a big strikeout there with the runner at third and less than 2 out. And a good bounce back that shows you a little something about Brian Ellington. To get that strikeout after the missed call, which would have been the strikeout, he came back, made a good pitch to get Ashe.
Blanco, I think he's the first guy that we've seen with the kind of the half mask cap on. At least so far today. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that tonight in the second game of this doubleheader as it gets a little colder.
I think they're going to send a couple of those up to the booth.
Infield now can back up with 2 outs. Corners not so much. Blanco can bunt. And Ellington misses. That's 2-0. See those flags out in the outfield. They have been ripping all afternoon long as this turns into evening in Philly. Flags are at half-mast here in Philadelphia in honor of the school shooting in Oregon. Pitch is out. Blanco walks. And here comes Ruiz. Phillies up a run, bottom 7. Ruiz In the changing of the guard here in Philadelphia over the last season and a half, Ruiz is one of the lone remaining guards, so to speak. Ryan Howard, of course, is still at Philly, but not in uniform. Howard out the rest of the year with an injury, or at least not on the field.
See the career numbers of Ruiz. I was really surprised when I saw his career numbers against the Marlins. Played over 100 games, 115 games. But the average just 225. But, you know, over the years, he's gotten some big hits.
That one is a foul ball. I think at the end, when you look back at Carlos Ruiz's career, you can't look at numbers. You can't look at batting average and homers and RBIs. You have to look at what he meant to the organization, a guy that was not highly touted, that Charlie Manuel took a liking to, that worked well with the pitchers, and all of a sudden he found himself the everyday catcher with that rotation that was so good. Runner goes, foul back to the screen.
Ruiz has caught 4 no-hitters. 2 by Roy Halladay, the perfect game, and then the no-hitter. 1 by Cole Hamels. The 4th no-hitter was a combined no-hitter. Cole Hamels started the game and then finished off by the bullpen. Of course, the 1 no-hitter was in postseason by Halladay.
0-2 is up, and no throw from Mathis. And it'll be a stolen base for Blanco. And that's the importance of getting Ruiz here, is compounded with Blanco now at second. Ruiz in that run too, Tommy, was one of the best at driving in runners in tight spots. He always had a really good runners in scoring position, especially with 2 out average in those postseason years. Fastball is up and in.
I want to say, and by no means do I mean this to downgrade Ruiz, but kind of a notch below Yadier Molina over the last 5-6 years.
Well, that's like saying Batman isn't as good as Superman.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, nobody's Molina. Busted bat and a slow roller. Solano's throw is in time. Wow, bats, balls, runners, everything's flying around. Still 6-5, Phillies. Turned into night. D. Gordon in this ball game has done some nice things. This base hit drove in a run. That was in the second. Marlins were on their way to a 4-0 lead. And this was hit number 200. That was in the sixth. He wasn't done yet. Remember, he was one shy of Billy Hamilton until this. Stolen base number 57 with a head-first slide. And you know what? Why not take the lead? Stolen base, throw into left, and tied the game at 5. So D. Gordon has wrapped up the stolen base crown, pretty much wrapped up the hit crown in terms of number of hits, now with 200. He is, however, behind Bryce Harper by the slimmest of margins, 331 to 330. Harper 1 for 3 in his game today with a homer. Gordon 2 for 4 here. Both Gordon and Harper have another game to play tonight. The Nationals, who beat the Mets in the first game of the doubleheader, have game 2 coming up. Matt Harvey starts in that ball game against Harper. Max Scherzer going for the Nationals. Dalier Hinosa for the Phillies. Jeff Mathis and Hinosa with a high fastball at 92 for a strike. Mathis in this game, a home run, a walk. He scored twice, and he's bounced out. And a breaking ball that Mathis chases. Chris Narveson in Miami's bullpen.
Well, the Phillies have Inosa and Blanco stayed in the game, right, at third base. Replacing Ashe.
Marlins would approve of that double switch to get Ashe out of the game.
Yeah.
As much as he's hurt them this year and today with that 3-run double.
It was like a political. I approve this message. Approve this double switch.
I'm Dan Jennings, and I approve this double switch. Miami's box score. Christian Yelich 4 for 4 in this game. That's another storyline here. Yelich, who's had such a nice late season surge. You know what? I should amend that, because it started right around early June, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So it really wasn't late season.
Well, yeah, you go back to June 27th. He's hit 341 since then. And with his 4-hit game today, he's over 350. Christian Yelich, just to keep your interest, has never had a 5-hit game. He'll get another at bat.
So he's at 296. This was coming into today.
Look at that.
And so obviously a 4 for 4 day pumps both those numbers up. See Ichiro getting ready for a pinch hitting spot. And Mathis swings and misses. So there's one out here in the 8th. So the ball game tonight, which will start a half hour after this one is done, and then the game tomorrow, which starts at 3, should have some drama and some intrigue when it comes to D. Gordon and Bryce Harper. And unfortunately, the ball game tomorrow, for me, well, I guess it's unfortunate and fortunate. Preston Wilson will be by, but Tommy, this is your last night. For the 2015 season.
It is. I will be heading home. I will thank a lot of people game 2.
Okay.
But to have a great birthday party to attend.
So Preston Wilson, who arrived in Philly, he'll be with you for Marlins Live later tonight, and hopefully the airline will find Preston's luggage.
because we are not the same size.
No.
I could offer some things, but we're just not the same size.
Donovan Solano swings and misses. And there are 2 quick outs here. And now here comes Ichiro for a pinch hitting appearance. Ichiro was kind of I guess a footnote on that incredible play by Kevin Kiermaier the other night when he threw out JT Realmuto at the plate. Did you see on StatCast? They clocked the ball out of Kiermaier's hand at over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think 104. Yeah, something in that range.
I think it was 100.4.
100.4.
I think he'd be relieving for some team if it was 104. But still, that was incredible. And for Ichiro, that single snapped a 3 for 40 he was on. And he fouls that back. It's 1-1. So he was the guy that hit the ball to center. Kiermaier then uncorked the throw that got Realmuto.
But it's been fun this year watching. Number one, watching Ichiro prepare, and then watching him move up that hit list.
And that was one of the great shots when Gordon got back to the dugout, because on all of these lists that Gordon is appearing on, leading the majors in hits and stolen bases, leading his league in hits and stolen bases, and possibly batting average, and winning possibly a Gold Glove. Well, on most of those lists, the last guy to do it is this guy, Ichiro. To short, and d'Arnaud throws out Ichiro. A 1-2-3-8 for the Fish. 6-5 Phillies. And I guess implements of warmth and cover, from blankets to caps to Philly Fanatic caps. Lots of gloves. I'm telling you what, that's the most popular thing at the concession stands is not,
without question,
not the water ice, which is famous in Philly, but those Philly Fanatic caps, which are fuzzy and warm. And by the way, where is the Fanatic? Was he booked at a birthday party, and that's why he's not here for the first game of the doubleheader?
Well, he does do birthdays and bar mitzvahs, but I think if the temperature drops below 50, I think the Fanatic is out of sight.
No bueno? Was that what you're saying?
I have no idea where the Fanatic is.
Here's Chris Narveson, Brian Bogusevic. And Bogusevic swings and misses. Bogusevic, a homer. That was in the fourth, and it was opposite field to left. And that's where the ball is carrying, just for your future reference in this one and the second game. If you get a ball up and left, especially straightaway left or towards the line, it really goes. There in right field, not so much, because you can see the flags in center field. Narveson, a nasty curveball and a strikeout of Bogusevic.
That's a veteran left-hander, as they say, carving up a left-handed hitter. Got ahead, expanded the zone with this breaking ball, and got Bogusevic to chase it.
Here is d'Arnaud, who tripled back in the 6th and scored. And that was a big sequence, because that right now is the deciding run up on the board. He scored on the Freddie Galvis sac fly. 7 o'clock in the East, and so they're getting ready to start game 2 in New York. Nationals and Mets. Tapper in the hole. This is going to be a really tough play. And d'Arnaud beats it, an infield hit. Headed toward the postseason, you need MLB.TV Premium, #1 live streaming sports service celebrating 13 years. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widgets, all of that. Every night, every device. Blackout, other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. That's a very cool thing to have for the postseason. Whoa! Another bad throw to first. That's the second error by a Marlins pitcher in this ball game. And the first one costs Tom Kohler a run back in the 5th.
Yeah, that one just, it almost looked like it stuck in the hand of Narveson on the throw to first.
Ken Giles. Ken Giles. He's in a really nice year. Runner goes, throw to third by a bunch. He's out. Martin Prado with the tag. Jeff Mathis with the throw. Tried to get a running lead. Now the tag by Prado was on the backside. That's close. But it's cold, so no challenge.
No challenge, plus he was out by 5 feet.
The spirit of the law, that's what you're saying. Narveson, a sharp breaking ball, and he strikes out Galvis in a nifty inning with some help from his catcher, Jeff Mathis. But the Marlins are running out of outs into the 9th. 6-5 Phillies. by Kubota. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubota.dealers.com. D. Gordon getting ready for the ninth. He will lead it off. He's 2 for 4 with 2 stolen bases. But hits don't come easy against this guy, who's really had a nice coming out party as a closer. Though having watched him as an 8th inning guy for the last 2 years, you kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah, you know, we saw it a little bit last year. 15 and 19 in the saves opportunities. Look at that, 83 strikeouts, 24 walks. And I don't think Philly fans were at all surprised at the Jonathan Papelbon, Bryce Harper situation in Washington.
No, I think one of the highlights this year for Philly fans is watching Papelbon blow a save here in September. It was Freddie Galvis that homered in the 9th inning. D. Gordon takes a fastball that misses out. It counts 1 ball and 1 strike. Gordon is 2 for 4. Blanco raising the mask. Gordon knocked in a run with a single in the 2nd. And remember his at bat in the 1st inning that opened the game. That was against Aaron Harang. He hit a liner in the gap in left center that Odubel Herrera had a running, lunging catch on. So he was close to having 3 hits tonight. Little tapper, it's a fair ball, Joe West says. And Gordon is tagged out. D kind of looking at Joe West, now looking up at the scoreboard to see if there's a replay coming. Here's a look. It has to be over the plate or in front of it.
I'm not sure.
It's tough to tell from that angle. Here's maybe a better look.
That's behind the plate.
Sure looked like it.
Yeah, from that angle it looked like it.
Better look. That's well behind the plate.
Yeah, that's...
wait a minute. Where he caught it, though. Here's Yelich. Well, we could look at it a few more times, but it isn't going to change the result.
No, it's not going to change. A 2 for 5 night. Now we'll focus on Christian Yelich trying to get his 5th hit.
All 4 are singles. 1 knocked in a run. Yelich into center field. It's a 5-hit game for Christian Yelich.
That is a first in his major league career.
And you know what? 300 all of a sudden. You can see it within his grasp.
You love his base hits, too. I mean, the double into right center, a couple of singles to left, an infield base hit, and this one up the middle. That's Christian Yelich to a T.
298 is Yelich. Now Prado. Prado down the right field line. Yelich has got great speed. It's into the corner. Yelich for 3rd. Up with the ball, Bogusevic. Yelich will score. Prado's on his way to 3rd, and he gets there with a triple. And Miami ties it in the 9th. Brian Bogusevic had technical difficulties in the right field corner. Once he got it out of there, Prado was steaming towards 3rd, and Yelich had scored.
I think Prado saw this all the way. He had this play in front of him, and that's what's good. And once he saw Bogusevic had some trouble in that corner, that's when he took the turn around second base.
I don't think he booted it, Tommy. I think he just chased it around the corner.
Yeah, just kicked that corner and then it headed into the outfield a little bit more. Great job by Martin Prado, who's done that all year. And then super base running, too.
You can see Bogusevic not happy with himself. now Pete Buchanan is out to talk to everybody and let them know what he wants in terms of the infield, the approach to Dietrich here. There's one out. Miami has tied it.
Lenny Harris over there talking to Martin Prado about what they want in this situation.
See A.J. Ramos warming up.
And I would imagine
they're going to walk Dietrich and pitch to Ozuna.
And I would imagine they'll be going on contact. Martin Prado will, not in this situation on ball 4.
Having watched the Marlins, especially in the last 3 weeks, would you walk Dietrich to get to Ozuna?
I don't know, because you and I have watched and we've seen the way Ozuna swung the bat. But this is probably the play. I mean, I don't think they'll play a double play situation. It sets up a double play, but they probably will keep the corner infielders in. But you get the righty-righty matchup.
Well, here's Ozuna. He's 1 for 4. Giles is a guy that will challenge you with a first pitch fastball.
Ozuna will be ready.
Nope. He got a breaking ball.
Got a slider kind of backed up, too. Wasn't a good one.
Middle infield is almost a little more shallow than double play depth. Ozuna fouls it back to the screen.
It's kind of like middle infield. You're not quite double play depth, but if you get that ground ball, you're going to think about 2. But if you get a hard ground ball, maybe to one side or the other, you may come to the plate because Prado will be on the move.
Ball and a strike. So Giles has blown a save. Not something he's done much of since inheriting the job. Ozuna into left field. That's a hit, and Prado scores. Miami has the lead. 2 runs here in the 9th. 7-6.
Good job by Marcell Ozuna, who had a base hit earlier tonight to extend his hitting streak to 7. Continues to hit the ball sharply and have good at-bats. He got a slider. It was up, out over the plate. He might have gotten it off the end of the bat a little bit, but found the right spot.
That's the benefit, too, of having the corners in. Because Blanco, you saw him dive for it, and he narrowly missed it. If he's another 5 to 10 feet back, he may have enough time to get to it. Dietrich at second. Here's Bohr now. Dietrich chased back. You've got Ozuna at first. This just the first of 2 Marlins and Phillies to follow in game 2. Inside the Marlins road to recovery. Jose Fernandez rode back for a half an hour. You'll have that between games 1 and 2. Alec Asher out of Lakeland. Justin Nicolino out of Orlando. A pair of Florida guys who are both 23. Marlins Live. Lots of highlights. That's the post-game show after game 2. We'll find out if Preston's luggage has arrived in the city of brotherly love, and lots of things to talk about with Dee Gordon and Christian Yelich having big games here in game 1. Bohr fouls it back.
I think when you're having the kind of night that Christian Yelich is having, you can't wait for that next game to start.
0-2 pitch, and down goes Bohr. Giles gets a strikeout. Here comes Mathis, who has homered, walked, is 1 for 3. Christian Yelich, a 1-out single started it. Martin Prado's RBI triple tied it. An intentional walk to Dietrich, and Ozuna has given Miami a 1-run lead in the 9th.
This inning also has given A.J. Ramos plenty of time to get loose in that bullpen. Pitcher of record for the Marlins, Chris Narveson.
Ramos is ready. 1-1 to Mathis. 1-2. And he struck him out. But the Marlins scored twice on Ken Giles and take a 7-6 lead to the bottom of the 9th. In Philly, here comes AJ. Is in on a chilly, windy, nasty night in Philly. It has kind of been the same for Ramos against the Phillies this year.
Boy, it is. It's been a tough year this year for AJ on the left side. And we're talking this season in 8 games. AJ's allowed 4 home runs, the ERA over 7, and then you look against everybody else on the year. So this is a tough matchup. Certainly AJ knows that he's had some good times and bad times here, but trying to close things out tonight. Pick up save number 31.
The win would go to Chris Narveson. Narveson pitched a scoreless 8th. And it's 2-3-4 in the Phillies order.
Good start, good breaking ball for strike 1.
Eric Altair. An 0 for 3. That's a swing, according to Joe West. And there was no appeal down to first. And so Ramos is out in front 0-2. Buries that breaking ball. Altair back in August against Ramos in Miami. Two balls, two strikes. You got Odubel Herrera, Darren Ruff, and then the pitcher spot up. That's in Cody Ashe's old spot in the order. Cole Gillespie has come into left. Outside corner struck him out. Ramos strikes out Altair. AJ was pretty confident, even though it took Joe West a second.
Oh, just perfect. Look at how Jeff Mathis held it there an extra second or two to give Joe West a nice long look.
Here is Odubel Herrera. We could probably show a bunch of Odubel Herrera hits over the course of the season against Miami. 3 more tonight, including a double his last time up. He runs up to bunt and takes ball 1.
Had a great note in the Philadelphia Inquirer, the highest rookie batting average with over 100 strikeouts. So Odubel Herrera has his average now at 294. You have to go back to 1964 when Richie Allen was a rookie. Dick Allen hit 318, had 138 strikeouts.
Richie Allen, a teammate of yours?
Was. 2.5 years. His second tenure with the Phillies in the mid-70s. Talking to somebody about that the other day. A great teammate. Enjoyed being around him, talking about the game, about hitting.
AJ Ramos not going with sleeves. Trying to finish off the Phillies in the bottom of the 9th. And the fastball misses in, and the tying run is aboard. Darren Ruff has the pop to end this game. Darren Ruff back in August. Now, we showed you the numbers for AJ against the Phillies, whether it was Ruff or Altair,
Ashe,
Francoeur.
Those are the 4.
You can hear that win, and we've heard it from the very start. It's supposed to intensify tonight, and some reports have it up to 40 miles an hour tomorrow. Herrera has a stolen base as well.
Good fastball.
0-2 count. A win for Miami, and it would be win number 70 on the season. And continue what has been a nice ride since the last day of August. Center field. The wind will hold it. Yelich comes back to get it. Herrera tags on his way to second, and he's in there with a head-first slide. Boy, lots of drama there. First, with the ball get out. Second, with the wind cutting it down. Could Yelich find a path to it? He had to stop and come back to get it.
Yeah, this ball is crushed. If Darren Ruff pulls this ball a little bit, it goes way out. But Yelich goes back, tracks it nicely, and got a little momentum to make a throw to second. He had a good idea that Herrera would be tagging. I think A.J. Ramos will tell you he got away with one because it looked like a breaking ball, pretty good pitch to hit.
Well, we told you that Macau Franco might play in this weekend series. And guess what? Here he is.
He is he's the guy that made Cody Ashley go down to the minor leagues and learn how to play left field.
Ramos starts him with a breaking ball. It misses out. 2 outs, bottom 9. Miami, a 2-run top of the inning. Now Martin Prado RBI triple. Marcell Ozuna RBI single after another Yelich hit, his 5th of the game. Good breaking ball for a strike. You saw Franco's feet move a bit. Mathis really having to wrestle with those breaking balls in the dirt.
Well, you have that. You know, it's tough right now for A.J. to get a feel, good grip on the ball because it's so cool and windy.
By the way, this note from the Nationals-Mets game, Bryce Harper's not in the lineup for the second game. He was hit by a pitch earlier today, but he stayed in the game and homered after that. Swing and a miss. Franco, a rookie. This is his first career pinch hit at bat. Two. Got him! Breaking ball. Ramos saves it. Miami comes from behind and beats the Phillies 7-6 in the cold on a night where D. Gordon has a stolen base crowd. He's reached 200 hits. Christian Yelich goes 5 for 5. Ramos and some good work by the bullpen. And you know what? That's just the half of it, because this is a doubleheader and the Marlins get game 1.
I'll tell you why it was especially good. The Marlins since 2011 have gone 13-31 in this ballpark. So to win a game in this fashion, that's a nice win for this ball.
Yeah, in these environs as well, with the cold and the wind and some rain. D. Gordon and the Fish, 7-6. They win it. We're back after this.